Hi 11th graders, welcome back to another math video. Today we are going to look at angle measurements, basically degrees and radians. We will start this lesson with a do now, then we will move on to angle measurements. Then I'm going to teach you how to convert between radians and degrees, and finally I'm going to show you special angles and how we can use them to find coordinates. So let's get started. Here is the do now. I would like you guys to take a moment and find the values of these two angles. Take the measurement if you have something to measure with, but if you don't, I would like you guys to estimate what the value of this angle could be and what the value of this angle could be. One good thing to know to do that is the angle between y-axis and x-axis. This angle here is 90 degrees, and this angle here is also 90 degrees. So in that case, by knowing the information, you can make a good educated guess of what those angles could be. Okay, so take maybe 2 minutes, find the values either by measuring them or by estimating, and then come back when you are done so we can do them together. Welcome back, and let's do the do now together. There are two things that I want to know if you did correctly. The first one is I want to know if you start from x-axis when you were measuring your angle. Start from x-axis and then went to the counterclockwise until you reach the arrow. The other thing that I want to test in this do now is whether you have the correct unit or not. You can say the angle is 40. You need to have the unit. The angle is not 40, but it is 40 degrees. Or the other angle is 60 degrees. So the unit that you can use for angles can be either degrees or radian. So the angle, first angle can be either 40 degrees or 2 pi over 9 radian. The other one, the second one, can be 160 degrees or 8 pi over 9 radian. Okay? Now, let's look at how we can convert between those two angle measurements. So to convert from degrees to radians, what you need to do is multiply pi over 180. And to convert from radians to degrees, you need to multiply 180 over pi. Let's look at some examples. Here we have 300 degrees, 240 degrees, 260 degrees, and we want to convert those values to radians. To do that, we have to multiply pi over 180. So we multiply that to pi over 180, and we have 10 over 6 pi. But actually, we should not stop there. We can simplify even further, and that will give us 5 over 3 pi radians. And the second one, we have 360. We multiply the same value, pi over 180, and it will give us 2 pi. So here you know 2 pi is equal to 360. That's a full circle, and full circle in a radian is going to be 2 pi. 180, which is half circle, is going to be only pi. Okay? 270, we multiply the same value, pi over 180, and it will give us 2 over 3 pi. Okay? Good. Let's have you do some exercise now. So I want you guys to convert the following to radian. They are in degrees now, so I would like you to take a few minutes and convert those three values into radians. And then come back when you are done. so I can show you the answer. Done? Good. So here are the answers. The first one is 3 pi over 4. The second one is 2 pi over 5. And the third one is pi over 2. So you may know that pi is equal to half circle, and half circle is 180. And if you want to get half of that, because 90 is half of 180, you just divide by 2, and that's an easy trick that you can use. Now let's look at how we can convert from radians to degrees. So we have pi over 5 radians, and we have to convert that to degrees. And to do that, we have to multiply 180 over pi, and that gives us 36 degrees. The other question we have is pi over 4 radians, and we have to convert that to degrees. So we multiply 180 over pi, and it gives us 45. If you also think about it, pi is equal to 180, and 180 divided by 5 is 36. The other one is pi over 4, and pi is 180, so if you put 180 there, over 4 gives you 45. Okay, great. So now I want you guys to do this one exercise. I want you to convert 11 pi over 9 to degrees. Are you done? Okay, here is the answer. Now, let's look at a summary of what we're talking about. So if we are converting from degrees to radians, you need to multiply whatever value you have by pi over 180. And if you are converting from radians to degrees, you need to multiply by 180 over pi. Okay? Good. Now, let's look at special angles. So, special angles are 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and 90 degrees. And those angles and their multiples help us find coordinates on the unit circle. Okay? So, I want you to keep those angles in mind. So all those special angles are on the first quadrant. For example, 30 is, 60 is, and 90 is. So all of them are in the first quadrant. And all the others are going to be, all the other angles around the unit circle are going to be multiples of one of those special angles. Okay? So here we have all the multiples of 30 degrees, and here we have all the multiples of 60 degrees. Here we have all the multiples of 45, and here we have all the multiples of 90 degrees. Okay? Good. So now let's put all of them together, and we have the special angles here in the first quadrant, and then all the others are going to be around the unit circle. So, for example, 120 is going to be multiple of 60, right? 135 is going to be multiple of 45, and so on. So now, let's see how we can use the special angles to find the coordinates around the unit circle. So first we need to know what are the coordinates of the special angles, and those we can calculate. We can calculate using cosine and sine. So for example, we can just say cosine 30, and that gives us the x coordinate. And then we can also say sine 30, and that gives us the y coordinate. You can also put that in your calculator and it will give you the values. And then you can calculate all of them. So when the angle is 0, the x value is 1 and the y value is 0. When the angle is 30, the x value is square root of 3 divided by 2 and the y value is 1/2. Also, this is cosine, this is sine. Okay, this is sine and this is cos. This is sine, this is cosine. This is sine, this is cosine. Okay, so you can calculate, and then when you know this, when you know the coordinates of the special angles, you can easily know the rest around the unit circle without memorizing it. All right, good. Now we know the coordinates of the special angles, and then we know that 120 is a multiple of 60. 60 times 2 will give you 120. So in that case, the coordinates are going to be the same, except that x value is going to be negative, because in quadrant 2, the x value here is negative. But other than that, it's going to be the same. Okay? We know 135 is multiple of 45. So in that case, the value, the coordinates are going to be the same, but only the sign will be different, right? We know 225 is a multiple of 45. So only the signs are going to be different, because in this quadrant, both x and y are negative. So both of them will have negatives. And 330 is going to be multiple of 30. So the values are going to be the same, but only the sign of the y value will be different. And that's because they are in different quadrant. 30 and 330 are in different quadrant. And in this quadrant, the y value is negative. So that's how you can tell. Yeah. So they are basically the same. All the values will be the same as the special angles, but only the signs will be different, and that's because they are in different quadrant. Okay? And also, you don't have to memorize. You don't have to memorize the coordinates of the special angles, because you can easily calculate that by using sine and cosine. So sine of 30 is 1/2. You can just put that in your calculator. And sine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Okay? So you can calculate that by using your calculator. And then when you know what the coordinates of the special angles are, you also know the rest. Okay? That's it for today, guys. Please check the Google Classroom, as the homework and other resources will be there.